For YouTube, it's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, undefeated IBF super middleweight world champion superstar boxer Caleb Sweethand Plant had a very interesting take when it comes to the situation regarding undefeated two-division world champion who currently is the reigning WBC junior lightweight world champion Mexican superstar boxer Oscar Valdez. Oscar Valdez has an interesting relationship with four-division world champion Mexican superstar boxer who is the unified super middleweight world champion Saul Canelo Alvarez, who Caleb Sweethand Plant will be facing off against, or scheduled to face off against, November 6th. With that said, for undisputed showdown. With that said, Oscar Valdez, he tested positive. His A sample and B sample tested positive, and for a banned substance, but the boxing commission decided to approve and allow Oscar Valdez to still fight next Friday, September 10th, against Robson Casillas, right? And the boxing world was not happy about that because you tested positive for a banned substance and you're supposed to be in a clean boxing program. You're supposed to be protecting the safety and the well-being of these fighters. And this is clearly not you protecting the safety and well-being of these fighters. This is simply you protecting your vested interest, your bottom line, your money. Okay? So Caleb Plant, he says that whole entire team, because we know Canelo Alvarez himself, he tested positive for clenbuterol, was suspended for 6 months ahead of his highly anticipated rematch with then undefeated unified middleweight reigning world champion superstar boxer Gennady Triple G Golovkin. Canelo Alvarez was allowed to fight Gennady Golovkin after his suspension. So we know that the WBC, World Boxing Council, President and CEO Mauricio Suleiman, they lifted the levels of clenbuterol in your system to allow you to continue to box, although you test positive for clenbuterol, because you have ate tainted meat in Mexico, and this is a ongoing trend in Mexico because they have to stretch the cattle, and so they use, according to allegedly, these things to stretch the cattle, and because you digest it, you yourself test positive for clenbuterol, so they raise the levels instead of holding the fighters accountable, and instead of conceded to Canelo Alvarez, right, and holding them accountable, saying, listen, you just can't eat the meat in Mexico. They raised the levels of clenbuterol allowed in the system. With that said, Caleb Plant, 21 wins, no losses, no draws, 12 wins by way of knockout. Caleb Plant is 29 years of age, stands at 6'1" with a 74-inch arm reach, okay? He's not happy with the way things have played out. And so Caleb Plant, he absolutely goes in on Canelo Alvarez, his trainer, Eddie Reynoso. He goes in on Oscar Valdez, and he says the whole team are international cheaters. This is what Caleb Plant had to say, okay? So, this didn't go over well, obviously, with Canelo Alvarez and his team. But with that said, here's what Caleb Plant had to say, quote, he says, at Canelo team, at Canelo deserved, he used a certain word to describe them, of the year. He said tainted of the year. I'll use that. He said all of them are suspect. Everything out of that camp is intentional. They have the knowledge and experience to know better and the resources to have the best of the best and whatever they want. Tacos or steak or some tea is the reason. Come on, right? Because Canelo Alvarez, he stated it was tacos and the meat, the steak, okay? And we know now Oscar Valdez, he's saying it's the tea that he drank that had the banned substance in the tea, okay? And we know Devin Haney, undefeated WBC lightweight world champion superstar boxer, he says, no juice, no trainer of the year, quote. So Eddie Reynoso was trainer of the year. So he put no juice, no trainer of the year. So now, he's once again, Caleb Plant, quote, he said, you mean to tell me you have made over $100 million and live in San Diego, but you ate some tacos or steak at some random taco stand in Mexico or some random steak and just doing that once made your levels that high? So he's referring to Canelo Alvarez being a high profile athlete and a high grossing athlete. Canelo Alvarez, he makes $32 million a fight. So he says, you mean to tell me you make $100 million and you live in San Diego, California, but you ate some tacos, right? At he said you ate some tacos at a random taco stand in Mexico or a random steakhouse in Mexico, and you ate it one time and that made your levels that high, right? Your clenbuterol levels. And then he goes, again, get out of here with that. People don't take this stuff out of confidence. They take it out of fear. They don't want to let their hang, and they take this, and I'll make them, right? So he's saying they have lack of confidence. That's why they're doing what they're doing. He said, I said what I said, and I stand by it. So whoever don't like it, so on and so forth. It's almost seemed frowned upon that you speak up for these types of things within the sport of boxing. He goes, as a matter of fact, I don't take my word. He said, as a matter of fact, don't take my word for it. Just watch this whole video. What Robert Garcia thinks about Canelo testing positive. So Robert Garcia is a well-renowned trainer, former world champion. He trains his brother, who's a 4-division world champion, Mexican superstar boxer. So, with that said, Caleb Plant, he absolutely went in. No holds bars, right? And so now the reports are Eddie Reynoso, who trains Canelo Alvarez and who obviously Caleb Plant is aiming at, and Canelo Alvarez are not happy, and they are, in fear that this could possibly ruin the fight, that this could possibly see Canelo Alvarez pull out of the fight, okay? And they feel slighted. Obviously, these are huge allegations. It's all alleged, but we know Canelo Alvarez, he did test positive for clenbuterol, so that's not alleged, and he was suspended for six months, okay? And we know he's trained by Eddie Reynoso, and we also know now that also Oscar Valdez, who has shown signs of having stamina issues, who's shown signs of struggling in fights. When it came to the biggest fight of his career, he's got with Eddie Reynoso, and he fought against Miguel Berchelt, who was 38 wins with 1 loss, no draws, and 34 big wins by way of knockout artist. Hadn't lost in 7 years, knocking everybody out, was the bigger man. Oscar Valdez moved up in weight to challenge Berchelt, and he had the fight of his career, the fight of his life, knocking down Berchelt multiple times and ultimately brutally knocking him out, and didn't show any signs of those stamina issues that usually plagued him throughout his career. And so it raised the eyebrow. And now we have this situation where he tests positive, A sample, and then everybody stated they're waiting for the B sample to come out to see what's truly the results and what took place. This was August 10th, and then August 13th he tested for the A sample positive, and then the B sample was August 13th. And so they're waiting for the B sample results before everybody, said that he was guilty. And the B sample comes out positive, and yet they saying, well, he did a test again August 30th. Why are you testing again August 30th? He tested positive August 10th and August 13th. Now they're saying August 30th he did another test and it came back negative. Okay, so with that said, they're going to proceed forward with the fight. You even had Andre Ward was not happy about this. Andre Ward, he stated, this is what we're doing, no morals in the sport of boxing. This is what we're doing, money over morals. This is a bad look, and yes, I said it. And Andre Ward is a Hall of Famer, retired undefeated Olympic gold medalist, and he's also a colorful analyst for ESPN and Top Rank, in which that's where Oscar Valdez, he fights under ESPN Top Rank with legendary promoter and CEO Bob Arum. So that's why Andre Ward, he said, yes, I said it. So Canelo Alvarez, 56 wins, 1 loss, 2 draws, 38 big wins by way of knockout, 31 years of age, 5'8" with a 70-inch arm reach. He's not happy. And Canelo Alvarez is the A side. Canelo Alvarez is used to getting his way. Canelo Alvarez is, used to, being the focal point. Okay, ever since he fought and lost to legendary retired Hall of Fame iconic superstar boxer Floyd Money Mayweather, Canelo Alvarez, has been carrying his mantle that he is the next big thing. He is the next Mayweather Manny Pacquiao, okay? And he's being pushed as the face of the sport of boxing. That's the reason why he gets $32 million a fight, okay? And so he's used to getting his way. Essentially, the initial negotiations broke down because Canelo Alvarez, he wanted his way. Canelo Alvarez, he wanted Caleb Plant. He wants, the lion's share of money, right? He's giving Caleb Plant a flat fee of $10 million, which is great. It's the biggest payday in Caleb Plant's career. So he's giving Caleb Plant a flat fee of $10 million, and he wanted a rematch clause in the contract. If he loses, he gets an immediate rematch. But if he wins, Caleb Plant can't get a rematch. And he wanted, if Caleb Plant was to get injured, he could fight whomever he wants for the same pot, the same money, nothing changed. It's just a replacement of opponent. But if Canelo Alvarez got injured, Caleb Plant can't fight anybody, just has to sit on the shelf until Canelo Alvarez is ready. And that didn't bowl over well with Caleb Plant and Caleb Plant's team. So we know Canelo Alvarez likes to be the A side, and this is not going to go over well. But I believe that the competitor in Canelo Alvarez, I believe that the fact that Canelo Alvarez's pride is very high, and the fact that Caleb Plant, we got to remember, Canelo Alvarez was not happy when the WBC suspended him. He was not happy that this was publicized. He was not happy overall. And the WBC, they catered to Canelo Alvarez. And here, they're not looking to suspend Oscar Valdez. They're not looking to strip Oscar Valdez. They're making no moves on Oscar Valdez. And this lets you know everything you need to know about the sport of boxing. So I believe Canelo Alvarez's pride. I believe that, remember, Gennady Golovkin, at the time, he was calling out Canelo Alvarez for, testing positive and having clenbuterol in his system and calling him a cheater. And that didn't bowl over well, and he wanted that fight more than ever. So I don't believe that Canelo Alvarez will pull out the fight. I believe he's just going to want this fight more than ever. So I definitely think, this just motivated Canelo Alvarez to fight Caleb Plant more so than, for him to pull out. So, but Canelo Alvarez is going to be viewed with a magnifying glass. You best believe that moving forward, because we know that, this is going to be highlighted. Eddie Reynoso is going to be highlighted. Everything that comes out of that camp. Andy Ruiz Jr., who struggled with weight, who struggled with being in shape, is suddenly in the best shape of his career. So he's going to be viewed with a magnifying glass. And Canelo Alvarez is going to be viewed with a magnifying glass. The question is, does it even matter? Because if Oscar Valdez can test positive for an A and B sample and still be allowed to fight, does it matter what Canelo Alvarez does moving forward? Unless the difference is Robson Consocia, if he's going to continue to fight. Caleb Plant, if Canelo Alvarez tests positive, he's not going to fight. So let's see how this unfolds and plays out. Make sure you hit the like button. Drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue. Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell icon to get all the new notifications. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shout out to the entire LDBC. Shout out to New Media. Shout out to Black Media Row. Make sure you like and share these videos. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.
Hi, my name is Heather Hardy, and you're watching Blue Blood Sports TV.